This is Good Morning Texas Coffee Break, sponsored by Community Coffee.
And of course, we do have something to talk about this morning. He is based in Fort Worth. He is fluent in 3 languages. He's raced in 12 different countries. Next weekend, he will be competing in the Lucas Oil 200 at Daytona. But what makes the career of Nur Ali so unusual is Nur is the first and only Asian American or Pakistani driver competing on the stock car circuit. Say hello to the driver of the number 45 A to Z wholesale Dodge, Nur Ali. Did I get it all right?
You got it.
Because there's so many sponsorships on all these things. And there's so many different levels to get up to the top level of NASCAR.
Yes.
And so as you work your way up, what are you, 34 years?
34 years old.
34 years old now. And that's a tough fight to get up because it's a limited number of spaces up there and sponsorships.
Limited number of spaces, sponsorships, especially with the economy the way it is now, very difficult to get to. Plus, being the first one for my community, it's also another challenge because no one's done it before in my community, so there isn't like somebody I had to look up to, or I was able to look up to and say, hey, how'd you get started? And we started from scratch.
And I don't have the answer for this, and I don't know if you do either, but why is NASCAR so much of a club of just one kind?
Well,
did I say that right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, what it is, it's now becoming more global. I mean, now, you know, just about a year or two ago, NASCAR started to expand itself to Canada and Mexico.
NASCAR started reaching out, or other people started trying to get into NASCAR?
Well, both. A lot of drivers from Europe and the Hispanic market, like Juan Pablo Montoya, you know, they've gotten into NASCAR. But NASCAR realized that they have already gotten to a level where they wanted to catch their mainstream consumer base. And they did. But how do you go beyond that? Well, the way you go beyond that, you expand yourself. Mexico, Canada, you bring in drivers like Juan Pablo Montoya, drivers like myself.
Like yourself and those drivers coming over from Formula One, too, because they're more international.
Yeah, they are.
It's not just a white boy Southern club anymore. It's trying to get out of that. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at we have some clips of you racing at Daytona last year, and this is a wreck about to happen. And now we're going to find you because you're in the number 45 car. You're a white car. I don't know if that's you there.
That's not me, but I should be coming up any second.
Now, how fast is speed?
Right there, on the right.
Okay, you're the white car, and you're going around in the back there. And oh, you're just missing that car, and there you're right in the middle, right?
Yep, right there. Doing about 186 miles an hour.
Well, you take a deep breath on that one?
For me, you know, Daytona was the first time I raced, so for me it was, oh my God, you know what's happening. But I think at that point, my open wheel experience came in handy because we do a lot of road courses.
Right.
And this is all oval, so I was able to see ahead, and the experience that I had that, hey, something's happening, and I was able to just maneuver out of it, thank God.
180 miles an hour.
Yep.
That just is stunning to me. Okay, now there's another, let's roll the second piece of video, because here's the wreck that you didn't avoid, or about 14 or 15 other cars.
Yep.
This is a massive wreck about to happen. This is the same race from last year.
Same race from last year.
This is the race you're in next week.
Yep. Next week.
We're going to say our prayers
right
for you.
there. Thank you very much.
Look at this.
There's 2 wrecks happening actually at the same time, at the front and the back.
Is that you in the white car in the back?
I am the white car in the back. You'll see
spinning around
right there coming out.
Whoa!
Yep.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
At that point, if you were able to see it on slow-mo, I take the car and turn it 180 degrees.
You do?
And then bring it back straight out.
Wow.
I mean, I actually avoided a lot of the accident, but I had a piece of debris that flew into my radiator.
That's what it, did you replace the radiator and get back out there?
20 laps later. We were down 20 laps. The crew put in a brand new radiator, and I came out 20 laps later.
And we say this all the time, but how important is the crew?
It's very important. It's not only myself.
Right.
You got to give the credit to the crew because you're only as good as your crew. Because if the crew isn't up to par, you could win or lose the race in the pits. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that.
You're comfortable doing this, correct?
I love doing this.
I love seeing that look on your face. Here's a couple photographs. We want to get through these too because these are kind of enlightened and kind of amazing to me. There's your standing in front of your.
Last year, yeah.
Okay. And we're just gonna
Daytona.
Look at that.
Getting in the car.
Because it doesn't have a door. You have to crawl through the window.
I gotta go through the window.
What's the horn sound like, Nur?
No horn.
Where's this?
This is in Lahore, Pakistan. About a couple of years ago, with President Musharraf, I was announced as the first driver for the country of Pakistan to race professionally.
Wow.
So it was such an honor. They did a big presentation at Lahore Fort, which is a 1,000-year-old fort that was conquered by Genghis Khan.
Wow.
1,000 years ago. So it was such an honor for myself.
What an honor. That's a huge honor.
That gentleman right there is a Senate chairman in Pakistan who was an interim president about 6 months ago or so, while the transition was happening.
And do they ask the same questions we ask, like, how fast are you going?
Yeah, they do. They do.
This is a cardboard
Budweiser,
cutout of you, sponsored by a beer.
Budweiser, yeah. Benny Keith Beverages out of North Texas.
Do you have one of those in your living room at home now?
Not in my living room, but I've got them in my closet.
I bet you do. Wow, look at that. Now that's a Formula One car.
That's actually an A1GP World Cup motorsport car. It's almost like an F1 car, and that's in Sepang, Malaysia.
One of the 12 countries you've raced
Yep,
in.
one of the 12 countries. It was about 120 degrees out there at that time.
That is you loving the day.
Yep.
And you've got Pakistan written on the car.
Yep, Pakistan, because it was the World Cup of motorsport. It's basically the Olympics of racing. Country versus country.
Okay, when do you go out next week to Daytona?
I'm heading out this weekend, and I'm going to be practicing on the 5th in Daytona.
Where do you qualify?
On the 6th.
Okay.
And then we're racing at 3 p.m. Central Time on Speed TV on Saturday the 7th.
Have fun.
Thank you very much.
Hey, our thoughts and prayers are
Thank
with
you for
you
your
because
support.
we're all fans now.
Appreciate
For more
it.
information about Nur Ali, you can log on to his own website. You can follow him and his sport. It's alimotorsports.com. Fantastic.
Coming up tomorrow.